ask me not to go so fast. Slow your roll down, baby. He said, Daddy, my little girl. She ain't no cruiser like I am. Well, you know she's the one. You got to ride for a ride. Now why you wanna do it, Daddy? If it was me, how could you help me? Oh, baby, please, please, please. How did you get me down here on my knees? Well, you know she ain't the one. You got to ride for a ride. You know my heart's all out of room. You wanna love that little girl. By all means, honey, do. Well, you know she ain't the one. He said, now let me tell you how. Buy you new appliances. I wanna take you out. Better on my science. I wanna take you out. I wanna meet you here. I wanna take you home. Tell me where it is. I come back when I wanna. Don't you ask no question. Me and you forever, baby. You and me together, baby. I love you, baby. I wanna take you out and just forget that. I wanna hear you love. It's like a heaven shell. I wanna hear you love, baby, baby. Be together. I wanna hear you love, baby, baby, be together. I wanna be with you together, baby. You and me together.
Hey, how's it going out there, TV land? Oh, goodness gracious, welcome back, right on time to Backseat Broadcasting. I'm your host, Eric Elkins, week 2. What it do? Here we are at the Hungaroring. Again, looks like we just jumped into that 10 minutes of solo qualifying as we saw a little wreck at the end of practice there. Corey Mitchell hitting the track early on. So we got a nice little grid. We have about 19, 20 racers on track, so that is nice to see. You know what else is nice to see? The Queen of Apex herself, Valerie, is back. And very cool to see as well that, the old SDK program decides to cut out when we switch to our qualifying session. That is always very sweet of it to do. Just give me a second while we figure out what is happening on that front. Stan getting a real wide final corner there Trying to make that as long as possible. Get on the throttle as early as possible. Oh, and Stan getting all out of shape there, and that lap is going to be ruined. At least he is able to save a little bit of the life in his tires. Hold tight, everyone. The stream will return in just a matter of about a minute, so just sit tight. Look for it again in a second. We're going to end it just to see if we can't get this driver info to actually come up, because it seems to have cut out for the race, which is when we're going to need it most. So hold tight. We'll be right back. And we are back. Hopefully this this next stream is functioning as it should be. For some weird reason, SDK decided to go out on us. We're halfway through qualifying already. Greg Tassos, followed by Paolo Langer on the front row there. Steve Zeropo and Ali Salih in third and fourth respectively, followed by let's put Sam Swan in there as well. John Cooper's also going to slide in. Kent Kruger and Corey Mitchell make up in row 4. Still needing some laps here from Stan, who we saw take a spin just a moment ago. Should be about his third lap. Kelly Greenhoe out on track. Also needing a lap. There's Richard Swindells having an off track. Just over 3 more minutes in qualifying. It is, and even though we adjusted this, it's still massive. It's a 2.69 mile GP circuit. And again, the mean Robo Lords have blessed us with a 10x maximum incident points. That will earn you a penalty, and we're having some spinners already here in qualifying. Rob Campbell with 2.5 to go, coming around the final turn now. In your front row are in the pits at the moment is John Cooper. Comes out of nowhere and snakes third, but then Robbie Campbell coming across the line. We were just watching him there, setting up that final turn with a 144.491. Steve with a little turnaround as well. And Valerie's got her own picture up there because she has the SDK driver app, as a good member should. If you want to download that, just go search Google. I don't even know the website. What am I talking about? Just Google SDK Gaming, and you'll see at the top there's a driver information app if you want to download that and connect it to your iRacing account, because I contacted SDK today about why all the driver photos aren't working. And they said, I don't know. And I said, does this look right to you? And they said, yes, that looks all good. And yeah, not working. So I might make a post about it again on the league page. Look out for that. But hopefully, I'm going to spend about an hour trying to figure it out today. And we have about a minute remaining in qualifying here. Corey Mitchell comes across the line. He's going to move up a position above Kent Kruger. No one else able to better their lap times out there as everybody's flooding across the line. And now Valerie is going to jump up to 15th with that last one. Bjorn has a little off track there at the end. He's going to abandon it. Tom Jenkins is trying to finish this one, get off the back row of the grid. I don't know if he's going to have enough time. It will be close. Elise Lee back here in 7th position. Robbie Campbell, though, is going to take that 3rd spot. And that's going to do it for qualifying here in week 2 at the Hungaroring for the Lambo Super Trofeo. Let's run down that starting grid real quick. That's Greg Tassos on pole position. He is followed by Bahalo Langer. And then on row 2, we got Robbie Campbell and Jonathan Cooper. They're followed by Steve Zeropo and Sam Swan, Ali Salee, Corey Mitchell, Kent Kruger, and Richard Swindells rounds out the top 10. Then we got Sean Teeter, Tony Phillips, Justin Barrero, Donovan Smith, Valerie Asensio, Bjorn Benches, Tom Jenkins, Stan Hammonds, and Kelly Greenhoe, who were both unable to set some lap times out there. They're going to start from the back. I feel like I am obligated to mention that. Here we are. As you can see, we are on sort of, there is no back straight really here, but we are coming into the final sector, lining up. As always, just a quick reminder to hit that thumbs down button. If you haven't had a chance to already, go ahead and unsubscribe. Make sure you hit that bell an even number of times. Does us a lot of wonders. And we fooled that YouTube algorithm. No more thumbs down. And we are ready to rock out here. Gonna get rid of some of this bulky stuff. And the old Williams get up with the old Rothmans. Oh, are we having some wreckage? Oh my heavens! Oh heavens! What is happening already? We have Richard Swindells all turned around. Kelly Greenhoe in an accident. We're going to jump back to the front of the grid, but some of the members not even up there yet because they already got turned around. There's Kelly Greenhoe with some of it. Justin Barrera, Sean Teeter also involved. We're going to look at that in a minute, but goodness gracious, nobody needs that. An extra 4X out of their possible 10 to start. And Greg Tassos hits it, coming down to T1. He's going to cover off the inside. We've got another big wreck already. It's Elias Salid doing Guan Yu Zhou. Thank goodness he is all right, because that joke is way too soon. And here we go. Other than that, it appears that everyone else making it through all right. A little side-by-side action with Sean Teeter and Justin Barrera at the back. The leader shuffling through all right, though. Oh, and it looks like Tony Phillips is off track back there. Up there is Tony. Side by side is Stan Hamilton. It looks like Donovan Smith there. Valerie Asensio up 6 positions on the opening lap, just crushing it. Stan Hammonds picking up 8. Kelly Greenhoe's also up 6. It says he got in an accident, but somehow able to avoid all the riffraff. We're going to take a look back at that in just a moment. Back up towards the leader, Jonathan Cooper has swapped places with Steve Zirapo for 4th and 5th. Rounding out the back of him. It looks like, Valerie's going to lose one of those spots there to Stan Hammonds, who continues to charge up the field after failing to set that qualifying lap. He's currently into the top 10. He's into 9th. Back up top, Greg Tassos hasn't really been able to get Robbie Cameron moved up a position above Paolo. So we have an a 4 out of the top 5 Canadian drivers out there. Really showing us all how it's done. And towards the back there's Tom Jenkins and Tony Phillips. It looks like Tony's going to make it through there after getting turned around on that opening lap. Donovan Smith has Bjorn Benches right on his heels. A little bit further up the grid, Sam Swan. Harping all over Jonathan Smith. Jonathan Cooper is able to catch back up to that leading pack as they tussle. And then for the battle for the lead, Greg Tassos only a couple tenths above him. Donovan Smith, it looks like, has had a tangle of his own coming out of there. With that very, very quick, tight T6 or whatever it is, I think. And Kelly Greenhoe is retired, it looks like. He's had a wreck there for some weird reason. Again, these replays are not playing for us. And he just gets tagged as a result of Donovan spinning around there, and he's going to be in the pits. The battle for the lead is right here, all 3 podium runners. All within a second. Steve Zirapo not too far outside of that. A great tight race coming, as you can see, not even a full second amongst the top 7 drivers there. You can almost make it the top 9 if Kent can just scooch up there a touch. Let's look back at what we saw on the opening there. Richard Swindell's with a crash early on. All eyes on Richard here. And the blue and orange, no, he's to the outside in the red and black. And he spins it all on his own and just ends up clogging the field. And here is Richard Swindell to his left. And watch for Richard losing it on the outside. And Sam actually hitting the gas, trying to make it in front of him, getting hit from all directions. I think he was the one to hit him from behind. Oh no, he got out of the way in time. And nice little battle here. Here's Stan Hammonds, who's been charging through the field. He's overtaken Ken Kruger after Valerie, and now he's got his eyes set on Corey Mitchell just ahead. And looks like he's about to make it on the inside here. He is. And they want to keep their speed up because there comes Ken Kruger trying to get in the mix. Almost hitting Corey Mitchell in the back there. I think that the admin penalty meetings, stewards meetings should be broadcast like C-SPAN. I'd watch it. I'd make popcorn. Back up top, it's Greg Tasso still leading from Robbie Campbell and Paolo. And then Steve Zeropo is just still a touch off of those three. Followed by Jonathan Cooper, Sam Swan. Stan Hammonds now up to 7th position. He's up 11 spots today. Corey Mitchell, Ken Kruger, and Valerie Asensio rounding out the top 10 drivers there. Let's see, it says Kelly Greeno had another crash of his own. Let's see if that had anything to do with this. He's the last one on the grid here. And does he comes sensibly to a stop. And Richard Swindells, his race was over immediately. Ali Salih getting rocked here he's in the blue and orange car in the Golf livery on the outside. He comes over a little bit, but there's a lot more black stuff to his right there, and he just didn't have the room. Someone got super sandwiched in the middle there, and that's going to end his race on T1 as the car is just all sorts of messed up. Tony Phillips also getting turned around on T1. Oh, just coming door to door there with him, and then, oh no, sorry, I was looking at somebody else. He just loses it all on his own on that super high speed uphill turn that really loses camber on you as you come up over the crest. And that's where we saw the tag with Kelly that put him out of the race. Robbie Campbell biding his time. 7.5 minutes down. Race starting to take some shape out there. Just behind, I don't know if you saw Steve Zeropo making up some positions as well. Because I think maybe, oh, there goes Robbie Campbell, who whips it around. Let's see what happens here. From 4th on the grid? No, yeah, 3rd on the grid. He just does it all on his own. Pass here. Paolo just gets really wide there after that awkward section for him. Opened the door for Steve to get through, and he did not need an extra invitation. Big coasting happening there from Paolo, really taking advantage of that, trying to get, oh, I was trying to get him in the pit stop, but he spun it around on T1, T2, where are we, T1? It is T1, and that's just putting him way down the grid. So Greg Tassos now with a 3.9 second lead after those guys, breaking things up a little bit. Just as I had said, the race is starting to take shape. It all sort of kicked off at the front, and which is the surprising part, with just sort of individual mistakes. No real accidents happening out there. Elise Lee out of the pits, back in the race. He's actually climbing his way back up and make that, oh, very, very ballsy and deep P14. And a spin there from Kent Kruger. We're going to see what happened there. Oh, what a move there from Robbie Campbell. And the admins are not going to like that one tomorrow. That's going to dump Kent Kruger back from 8th to 11th. And Sean Teeter got passed by Valerie and all of that, who's now made her way up to 8th position. Excuse me, Kent was actually, I think, 7th on the grid there. And here comes Valerie. Oh, almost murders another admin. That would have been my favorite lap of the race. Oh, and here's the view from Sean's dashboard. And maybe pushing a little bit too much to get past Valerie. Taking advantage of all of those opportunities. And here is Jonathan Cooper into the wall. I'd like to see where Jonathan Cooper went off track the first time, please. And we got it. All right. Proud, so proud of you. He's off track there, but he obviously is not finished with those barriers. He's got a bone to pick. Doesn't go into the pits. Who knows? I don't know, man. He went off track again. That's where Corey gets by. I don't exactly know what happens here. Stan Hammonds and Valerie apparently getting into a scrap here. that would be Stan Hammonds and somebody else, but Stan just ends up turning it all on his own after such a good race. It doesn't look like he's going to lose any spots as a result of the spin. And here is the black Lamborghini that Valerie is driving. Let's see what happens as she approaches the final turn. She's coming in hot. And oh, everybody does really well to keep it really shallow there and avoid her. And she's gonna have to do a multiple point turn. And she ends up retiring, which is so unfortunate. Having a great race there 15 minutes in. Sean trying that move and trying to force it. He definitely has the pace out there, thinks he has the pace. Sees Jonathan Cooper trying to recuperate the race in the rear view. He's got right up to these guys now. That little mid-lap scrap did not help Sean at all. He needed to make it stick. Be a little forceful there. and that's going to be it for Ali Salih this evening. Some races he just kills it, some races it just seems all to go wrong. And this race was definitely the latter for him. Doesn't help getting whipped and spun into T1. Awkward exit there for Bjorn. Sean putting him under pressure in a place he shouldn't. And Jonathan here, seeing it all go down, just waiting for his moment where Sean's gonna brake too late or make a decent enough mistake. John just has to stay on his regular racing line. Sean is trying to push and defend, and Jonathan thinks that he's seen enough of that, and he's going to come into the pits. Another lap, Bjorn leading this little pair. As for everyone else, they've all started to spread out a little bit. A lot of lonely races out there, people playing the long game with the pit stops. Jonathan Cooper on the longer side of those stops. Robbie Campbell with a 14.1. He's going to come back in. I wonder if that's for a drive-through penalty. It certainly has enough fuel. And it looks like that's going to be a drive-through for him, and he's coming back out onto the track all the way down in 12th. And he is not going to enjoy that very much at all. Sean just barely hanging on there. Oh, and they have their touch finally. Let's watch what just happened there. What awesome camera work. I gotta send this little bit to F1. I think they would give me a job in no time. Worst race directors ever. And Bjorn decided that that apex was going to be his. Bjorn said, apex this. Back up top, I guess, really the closest battle, really going to Steve Zierbo, the same spot. We're both comfortably in the podium positions with Corey Mitchell bringing it up in 4th position, a good 14 seconds off of those podium spots. Sean Teeter is into the pits. I don't blame him. Paolo, of course, getting through after Sean was spun around. So quite an effective undercut for him. Or was it John Cooper, actually? It was John. There is Sean exiting the pits. He's still up 1 place on his starting position. So that is something. Donovan Smith coming down the pit straight here. He still needs to make that pit stop. So does Tom Jenkins. And then your top 6 as well still needs to come into the pits. Greg Tassos elects not to. It looks like this is Steve's moment. Nope. Psych. Sam staying out as well. Corey Mitchell. Nobody wants to get in any sort of traffic out there, although I think they're pretty safe at the moment. Stan still doing an excellent job, up 11 spots here. He's made that pit stop, fastest of the lot. Ken Kruger's coming in for his, so that will free up Stan a little bit, just as he was pulling up to the back of him. Robbie Campbell catch Donovan Smith just ahead. So now we are just waiting for those top 5 drivers to finish up the pit stops. And in this pit stop window, we're over 25 minutes into the race. I think that this would be the moment. I think we have 44% fuel limit on the Lambos. We should see them in, a little bit before 30 minutes. Kent back out on track. The fastest yet of a 9.7 stationary. Sean coming back into the pits, presumably for some incident trouble out there. Donovan Smith now in trouble from behind. He's got Robbie Campbell. And oh, Valerie is still out there. I take it all back. And she's up a spot. Oh, she just had such a good race. Way to stick it out, Valerie. I think she was just such a good sport right here. Was it right here? It was right there. She just turned it, got stuck. And it was such a blind corner. She was a good sport. Took the pretty short toe, honestly, to her spot. I sure hope they didn't make her go all the way around again. She missed the pit exit. She was technically past the pit exit. That would be awfully mean, wouldn't it? And here comes Robbie Campbell looking to make that move happen here. Maybe into the chicane. No, he thinks better of it. But Donovan getting all out of shape there. This might be to the inside of a very awkward passing zone for Robbie, but he does not. Bjorn having a couple off tracks there. Starting to feel those tires now. Tom Jenkins having a pretty good, just quiet race back there after some opening kerfuffles. Getting down to business, up 12 spots. Stan Hammonds is up 12. Sorry, what did I say? 5 spots for Tom, 12 for Stan. Bjorn also up 12 spots. Still needs to pit though, as our top 4 is continues to run out there. Robbie Campbell is now getting the run on Donovan. And we have some takers from the front of the field. Steve Zirapo elects to put a 1 next to his name, if only for 1 lap, as he's got to come in at the end of this one. Corey Mitchell is in, Bjorn benches, finishes out. This top drivers we're referring to, Greg Tassos, comes out. And of course, very fresh air. No one around him at all. In fact, Sam Swan is quite far back. And Bjorn's going to hit the track too. John Cooper jumps just above him. Kent Kruger coming down the straight, but Bjorn will be well clear of that. Here is Sean now catching up to Tom after that extra penalty drive-through. This has got to be Steve's moment to come in. Tom Jenkins ahead of him. Stan currently up 14 spots. He's only 2.5 seconds off of a podium. If he can get there, that would be a killer drive. Steve is out with a little bit of traffic ahead of him. I imagine he would just let him on through. It's a little awkward there for him. Stan has just over 9 minutes to try to make that podium happen. He's 2.5 off of Sam still. You wonder if he's going to be able to get there. Greg Tassos with a cool 10-second lead. Up top, Steve Zirpo in second place, 3 seconds back. Sam Swan, followed by Stan Hammonds. Paolo is 5, 6, 7 seconds back, but he's in 5th. Corey Mitchell's in 6th, followed by Jonathan Cooper, Bjorn Benches, Kent Kruger, and Robbie Campbell rounding out our top 10 here. Staying with it, Donovan Smith looks like he's going to need an extra splash or something. Missed his box there as Sean Teeter comes on through back to his original 11th grid spot. Valerie currently running in 13th. Stan has it down to 2 seconds now, under 2 seconds. He's really starting to push. He wants that podium. You can see him getting on the throttle through the final corner there. Really leaning that car out and scrubbing those rear tires pretty well. Yeah, well, Stan, I totally set up a poll, Stan. I figured it out on the old Twitcheroos. And you're our driver of the day. That's what everybody says, yeah. I think you got it today, buddy. It's a killer drive. Bjorn not so shabby himself, up 8 spots. Jonathan Cooper currently down 3, wants to make up some spots, as does Robbie Campbell, although he's a long way off from Kent Kruger in front of him. I think 10th is the best he's going to accomplish today. Oh, and Sean with another spin at this treacherous turn. And these cars are low, and riding on those curbs enough will do it. Got it down to under a second now. He's well within that draft as well. Will also help him suck up to the back of Sam. See if he's going to be able to get on that podium. Top 2 currently Canadians, and the rest of the Canadians actually fell off during this race. Jonathan Cooper and Robbie Campbell. Poor Richard Swindells couldn't even make the green flag. Sorry, Richard, if you are watching. We're into our final 4 minutes here, watching Stan Hammonds trying to get onto the podium on our week 2 Lambos Super Trofeo. And Robbie Campbell. Race getting even worse as apparently he hasn't crashed. A little off track here. Just pushing it, manages to catch it pretty well though. Keeping it out of the wall. He's not going to lose any positions because of it. Still, even after that, has 36 seconds on 11th place behind him. Here we go as Stan starts to turn up the thermostat a little bit. He's starting to get close. Donovan Smith also with a spin back there in 13th spot. Stan sort of losing it out in that final turn. Just can't get the power down. All over that initial apex though. So do the turning early and just get it over with so we can get the power back down as soon as possible, or at least start accelerating a little bit. So he just treads lightly on that skinny pedal. Jonathan Cooper also making a race of it with Corey Mitchell right at the death in the final 2 minutes. Here we are as Sam Swan starting to feel the heat a little bit. Under half a second here. And they're going to have some lap traffic in a moment. There's Donovan Smith after that crash and spin is going to put him right in the way of these guys coming through. And there's Steve Zirapo in second place in the foreground, followed by Donovan Smith here. And he's sure making this an awfully awkward end for Sam. There, he's going to get out of the way for these guys and let them through. Is he, though? He's almost fighting them down the straight. Oh, my God, he's getting really close to him. Oh, God, that was a little bit too close for comfort. And here is Stan right on the back of them. I'm not sure what Donovan Smith was trying there. He should have just let these guys run. But speaking of run, here is Stan Hammonds with the run of the night, really trying to stick a wheel up the inside of T3. T2, T3, I'm not even sure which one that is. And this is the turn where we've seen most of our accidents here. A little snap there that Stan grabs, and he's gonna chuck it to the inside, almost making contact with Sam on the inside. And through the chicane, he takes the appropriate line. He's going to get a decent launch out of here. Nowhere to pass through this section. He's just got to stay with him and make sure he's primed for an overtake. God, he's eager to get back on the throttle. He is It's giving Sam a lot to think about as we are out of race time. Here we go with Greg Tasso. It's going to come across the line here. Stan really trying to force the issue. Jonathan Cooper right on the back of Corey Mitchell as well. That's a battle for 6th place. But back here, Stan Hammonds doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it happen by the end. Greg Tassos is going to take that checkered flag from pole to finish. Steve Zeropo up 3 spots to take 2nd place. And the battle for 3rd rages on, but it looks like Sam Swan is going to hold his nerve and keep that final podium spot out there. Stan Hammonds will finish in 4th. And here we go with Jonathan Cooper really pushing the issue with Corey Mitchell. 1 turn left to go. Let's see if he has anything to offer, but I think he's going to have to give up on that now as Corey's going to come through. What a dramatic couple laps to finish there as Stan just misses out after an awesome drive for him. It's got to be said. Great work from him. Good to see out there from everybody. Kind of a crazy start, but still a good race. It turned out to be week 2, hitting it off a little bit better. Things are kind of working on my end. Who knew they could? Thank you all for watching and joining us here. Thanks for all our drivers showing up yet again. As Sean Teeter is our final driver to come across the line. Actually, Robbie Campbell is as well. Just waiting on Sean here. And I guess no podium pictures being taken today. And here comes Mr. Teeter himself across the line. We're going to get those race results. It was Greg Tassos from a pole position to the race win, followed by Steve Zeropo and Sam Swan on the podium. Then we had Stan Hammonds, Paolo Langer in 5th, followed by Corey Mitchell, Jonathan Cooper just behind him, Bjorn Benches, Kent Kruger, and Robbie Campbell down there in 10th, followed by Sean Teeter, Valerie Asensio, Donovan Smith, and those were the last. And yeah, those were the last ones finishing the race with us. Actually, maybe Tom Jenkins did as well. Excuse me, Tom. Thank you for joining us as well. As always, keep a lookout on the Facebook page for the point standings. Go file your protests at apexthis.racing. Let them know who sent you. We will see you right back here next week. Who knows where we're going? I forgot already. But thanks for joining us. We'll see you then, everybody. Take it easy.